Kerbal Space Program. Moon. That was bad. I tried to make that like Euro Truck Sim and so the object of the week. That wasn't happening. I'll figure something out. Hey good lookins. What's cookins? I am playing Kerbal Space Program. It is a program about sending Kerbals into space. Kerbals are little green sort of men. Green men. Sure, little green men. They're aliens! Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I absolutely love space and everything to do with space. If you watch my Q&A, you'd know that I'm heavily inspired by Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I absolutely love astronomy, sorry. It's important that I say astronomy and not astrology because that's two different things. We're going to do the tutorial today because I don't want this to be like Euro Truck Sim where I just have no idea what I'm doing. I want to at least have some idea, even if I'm still a bit incompetent and crash everything, which I'm sure you'd love to see. I want it to at least feel like we're making progress somehow. So we're doing the construction basics right now. We have Werner von Kerman letting us know what to do. I thought about giving an accent to the Kerbals, making them have a funny voice because they're not voice acted. I tried a couple of things, put them on Twitter, put them on Tumblr, and they're all terrible. I might insert some of those randomly during the episode, just so you can see if any of them are actually any fun. Anyway, welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, fly a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the moon, I'm assuming that's pronounced moon, even though it's mun, the very surface of the mun. Let me know in the comments how that's pronounced. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. You're going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy, even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. First part required. Oh, he talks! He actually talked! So that's kind of the rough noise that they have. It's kind of like I'll try and work that into a voice. First part required. No, that's terrible. First part required in any vessel construction is a command module. This part will either contain a plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. Select a command module from the parts list. So you need the command module, as that's where all the dudes go, and it's basically the cockpit. So there we go. We've gone for the cool one, the one that looks cooler, because they look cool. Interesting choice. Not what I would have picked, but after all, you're not a famous Kerbal rocket scientist like me. I will be one day. I'll be the best gosh darn rocket scientist this YouTube has ever seen. If you ever need to move the vessel around the screen, you can pick it up by clicking the command pod. This will allow you to fit more parts beneath the vessel. Next thing we need is some fuel to burn. Select one of the fuel tanks on the left. Click once to select it, and click again to attach it to the bottom of your ship. I'm just going to quickly insert some of the outtakes of Kerbal voices that I did for this scene. Oh, well, why don't you go pick one of the fuel tanks you can add it to your ship? Well, I think you should be picking one of the fuel tanks right about now, so you can add it to your ship. Why don't you add one of the fuel tanks to your ship? Why don't you add one of the fuel tanks to your ship, fool? Why not add a fuel tank to your ship right about now? Add a fuel tank to your ship, you big idiot! I don't know what that is. I don't know why I'm calling myself an idiot. The Kerbal was calling me an idiot. That's what I was trying to get across. Well, I have no idea what that was, but I recommend right about now you go and add a fuel tank to your ship. Oh my glob, you should like go and add a fuel tank to your ship. That would be... Oh my glob, what the lump. Okay, so that was basically me attempting to voice act Kerbals and I couldn't decide on the voice, and honestly I think that might get annoying, but if you think you liked one of those voices and want me to do them again, let me know in the comments. Let's go back to the tutorial. Cool. Not too bad, you might just be getting the hang of this. Now let's add a rocket to the ship. This creates a jet of high energy gas, which pushes high energy gas, which pushes the vessel along. Select one from the left and add it underneath the fuel tank. We get a bit of symmetry going on there. That's like pointy, so we go for another pointy one at the bottom. There we go. Symmetry! Almost, sort of. Looking good. You remind me of a younger, less experienced, considerably less famous version of myself. Thanks for that, Werner. Some parts are designed to be attached to the surfaces of others. These allow you to build intricate radial structures and attach ever more rockets. So, attach some radial parts to the vessel. You can use the two large buttons in the bottom left of the screen to control how the editor duplicates and snaps the parts. So there we go. That is our radial decoupler. That's basically how you separate the command pod from the actual rocket. So we'll put that about there. Boom. Is that in the middle? That'll do. Interesting looking ship. Let's hope it goes better than it looks. If you want to see its weight, lift and thrust distribution, you can use the 3 small buttons in the lower left. So there's our centre of mass, there's our centre of lift, and there's our centre of thrust. I'm not sure why the centre of lift is a bit skewed like that. Maybe if we... Oops. Oops. Oh my good gravy, I've broken it. I'm sorry. What have I done? Dear me. There we go. There we go, guys. That's our rocket. Dear me. Oh heavens. We use that. So how have I broken it? How have I messed up the there we go. That's our rocket. Last but not least, make sure you assign a name to your ship by selecting the name box and then save it. Looks like our time is almost up. I have to go give yet another science briefing to the world's media. I'll unlock the rest of the parts and features for you to play with. You can hit the launch button when you're ready to fly. Good. So we need a sort of naming, a consistent naming scheme for our ships. So Zoey Pro as ships. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Pro as rockets. Pro as rocket 001. There we go. Done. Shall we try and launch that? I don't know. Let's give it a go. There we go. That's our little rocket. That's our little buddy there. Off to a good start. It's just falling apart. Good. We'll add some throttle. Ow! That's... I think we have liftoff. Right, we're gonna go to the controls tutorial now. That was a good first effort, I'd say. We got off the ground because the bottom of us just fell off. We were still off the ground for like 2 seconds, so that's fine. Let's go on to the other tutorials just so we can have a better understanding. Flight basics. Here we go. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center launch facility. I'm Gene Kerman, and I will teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. Let's go. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, roll, and yaw of the ship. So, boom, boom, boom. What have we got? What do we do? Q and E. Change our roll. There we go. And W and S change the pitch. And A and D change the yaw. Good, we're in control. Good. And the throttle is controlled by left shift to throttle up and left control to throttle down. Good. Feeling it, feeling it. I'm in the groove here. More throttle means more thrust and therefore more speed and lifting power. Throttle will only affect engines that can be throttled, like liquid engines. Solid boosters don't have any throttle control and will burn at top capacity until their fuel runs out. Holding the ship at full throttle over a long period of time can cause the engines to overheat and will eventually explode if the heat isn't managed. That's not good. We'll try and not make that happen. Right. There we go. All of these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness. Bigger, heavier ships will probably respond more sluggishly. It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter and therefore easier to control. So there we go. We've got the throttle and we've got the roll, yaw and pitch all sorted. Kapowski. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System, although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to it as the Sickness Avoidance Scheme. Whatever it stands for, what it does is try to stop the ship from spinning around, using the computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensator technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. I had weird enunciation on that, didn't I? To counteract the rotation of the ship. This isn't a question, but I'll make it sound like a question. Keep in mind that to use SAS properly, your ship needs to be fitted with an SAS or ASAS module. Okay, that can be activated by holding down F, or toggled by pressing T. Good, done. RCS is the reaction control system. It consists of small thrusters that help control the ship's orientation and translation. That's done by R. Boom. There we go. We need RCS thrusters and monopropellant tanks installed for that to actually do anything. Boom. Space is to launch and activate the next stage. So we can... Oh, look at Jebediah down there. He's having a right laugh, isn't he? He's so excited about this. I'm excited about this too, Jebediah. We're going to go to space. Space! I love space, in case that wasn't obvious. So, and the nav ball is that little ball at the bottom. And what does that do? That sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon, as well as its heading and speed. So that's basically so we can figure out how we are in relation to sea level, and the ground, and space! I'm going to keep saying space. Whenever I have to say space, I'm going to do it like the Space Corps. Space Corps! Good! These guys in the bottom right corner are the crew of the ship. So who have we got? So we got Bill Kerman. How's it going, Bill? Oh, Bill Simons going on his first date tonight. That's great. We got Jebediah Kerman. How's it going, Jebediah? That is amazing. Good to hear. And we've got Bob. How's it going, Bob? Ooh, Bob needs the money from this mission to pay for rent. But that's fine. We'll get you back to your family safely, and I'll make sure you get that rent, Bob. Anyway, we can launch when we set the throttle to max. So let's set the throttle to max. And let's go. You guys ready for our first actual takeoff with an actual functioning rocket? Let's go. Whoa! That is awesome. We are almost 2 kilometers. 2.5 kilometers. Is that kilometers? I don't know. Almost 3 kilometers off of the surface. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I think right about now is when we detach. There we go. So that's our command pod at the top. And then, there we go. The rocket goes away over there. Hopefully it'll land safely in the water and no one will get crushed by that. And we now descend back to the launch pad. Back to Kerbal Space HQ. And I think that was a successful flight, you guys. Just watching that rocket, making sure that rocket doesn't crush anyone. There we go. About to land. There it is. Done. Oh! Ah! So we are gonna do some more tutorials now, so that doesn't happen again. What? I forgot to deploy the parachute. That's very silly, Zoey. Why would you do that? Oh dear. Oh dear. Those poor Kerbals. Kerbals? Is that what or the Kermans? I don't know. Would a female Kerbal be called a Gerbal? A Gerbal? Oh my gosh. I hope so. That should be canon. Get on that. Anyway, I released another video showing the other 2 tutorials. Catch you next time. You're awesome. Space! Good. Great. I'm so sorry, Bill, Jebediah. Was it Jebediah? I can't even remember your name. Bill, Jebediah, and Bob. I make sure your Gerbals are well embarrassed, that they get a good pay for you dying and exploding. That's what will happen. Bye.